Yo everyone, welcome to another Good e-reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
My name is Peter.
We have here the latest and greatest from both of these companies.
Yes.
The Kobo Touch 2.0.
Right here.
Versus the Kindle Basic Touch.
Right here.
So the Kindle Basic came out in late 2014.
Yes.
So it's been out for a while.
Yep,
whereas
almost a year.
the Kobo Touch just came out a few weeks ago.
This, to not get confused, everybody, is the Kobo Touch 2.0.
Yeah, this basically came out like September 2015.
Yes, correct.
So it's newer, but the specs are pretty identical.
Right.
They both have a 6-inch screen. The resolution's 800 by 600 at 167 ppi. The screens aren't capacitive, but they are infrared touch,
Yeah.
which means that pinching and zooming is not going to be as robust, let's say, as it would on a Kindle Voyage with like a
Right.
capacitive touchscreen display. Underneath the hood on both of these devices is a 1 gigahertz processor, 512 MB of RAM, but you would say that the memory, when it comes to like what is underneath the hood,
Yeah.
Amazon has doubled up the memory on previous devices, so you both have 4 gigs of memory on both of these. One of the advantages, though, is that with the Kobo, you can peel off the back, and there is actually a hidden SD card in which the operating system and everything is installed there. If you know how to use cloning software, you can actually clone the OS and all the hidden files and put them on a bigger SD card.
Exactly.
So that's the one advantage that Kobo has, is that if you have the know-how, technically, you can put like a 16 gig card in there and have way more onboard storage.
But it is not a plug and play process.
Right. It's extensive.
Right.
But you know, spec for spec, these are pretty identical.
Yeah, even though there's a year gap, but you can definitely see what a year's technology will do. Look at the bezel on this guy. This thing is almost an inch taller and bigger and thicker than the newer, slimmer Kobo. And it's also lighter. So in every way, it's smaller dimensions except for the screen, because the screen sizes are the same. Let's look at the Kindle first, because it came out last year. What we have on the back is this... I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cheap plastic. Doesn't show a whole lot of fingerprints. Doesn't scratch very easy either, because it's textured, and it does have a very nice piano black embossed Amazon logo. Nothing on any of the sides except downstairs. That's where all the fun stuff happens. You have a power indicator light, power button, and a micro USB port for transferring data and charging the device. Same with the Kobo, nothing on the left and right. They situated the power button up top.
And they made it like quite large compared to the Kindle button.
You can't miss it.
If you look at the Kindle button, it's small, man.
Yeah, it's a little dot. And the micro USB and status indicator light are on the bottom. This has a removable back, and the back is employing a little bit of the same texture as the Kindle with the embossed piano black finish, but you have this nice edged design to make it kind of look a little different, because all e-readers look almost exactly the same now. Same with all smartphones and tablets. Everything is black and everything is square. Doesn't matter what you put into the screen, they're gonna look exactly the same. So we hope that one day someone says, you know what, let's make a white e-reader, or let's just do something different, because look at this.
It's a pile of e-readers that all look exactly the same.
Yeah, that was just a little explosion rant, but let's get to some software, shall we?
So Kobo and Amazon have always had two very distinctive UIs.
Yes.
I kind of like Kobo a bit better because it's dynamic. So whenever you open a new book, it appears on the main screen here. So you can see the last few books that we've opened here, as well as percentage read. If I were to say, you see all the stuff, right?
You can do anything really. You can go to settings, open something up, exit out, and settings and sync and everything will show up on the home screen.
Yeah, one of the things that I like is, say, if you click, say, on the web browser, it'll search for a connection. This is the one thing that I don't like about Kobo is that it always
they turn off your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And then if you go to the home screen now, you can see that the web browser tab is right there. It's kind of small because it doesn't have an image, but it's cool. So library, books, previews, established collections, articles from Pocket. So Pocket integration, being able to really have really gangster collection management is really good. Something that you can't really do on Amazon that effectively. As well as when you click on bookstore, it kind of gives you a lot of prompts right here. Related reading, recommended for you. Recommended for you is basically it looks at the books that you bought from Kobo and it'll like show you books that are by similar authors, similar genre. As well as reading stats and awards. This is something that's always separated Kobo from the competition. It gives you a breakdown of books that you're reading.
That's our example book. We've done 26 page turns and 0 time actually spent reading it.
Yeah. So these are books these are like Xbox sort of live style achievements. They, in 5 years, I don't even think they've added a new one.
It's so unused. It's not even funny.
Whereas with Kindle, it sure shows you.
They kind of do the same thing. Books that you open show up on the front screen, but it's not
marketing. Look at this big banner here. Books, 50 Kindle books for $2, and then it's like, and then here's the books that it's like half of the screen is like advertisements.
Basically,
second half of the screen is like books, and then when you scroll here, you see books. But we do have the special offers edition.
But still, the market is always there, and they're always saying, "Hey, this new thing is a couple dollars," and whatnot. So.
Right. So these are books
nice
on the
book
cloud.
There.
Hey,
that's your Kindle. That's why you got taken by the Tetris blocks.
Hey, taken by the Tetris blocks is one of the.
I knew it. I was gonna say I'm glad you're on the first page because that means you didn't read it. I saw that sync. It says like you're on page 23.
This is one of the. I would say
literary masterpiece of our generation. Summed it up, right?
Not of our generation, of every generation. This is like on par with like Plato's The Republic, Socrates, like War and Peace, like Tolstoy.
You know when cavemen were etching images into the wall, they once hoped that humanity would make this book in the future.
Testify. So both of these e-readers don't have a frontlit display, so you're having to rely on brightly lit environments. Right. You're not going to be able to like read in the dark with any of these. So while Kobo has Pocket integration, Amazon has Goodreads integration, and I think that Goodreads is superior. If you've never heard of Goodreads, basically they are a social media ebook discovery site. You can formulate online book clubs, talk about books that are in advance, rate and review, as well as import all the books that you bought from Amazon into Goodreads so people could like look on your shelves, and you can integrate it with like Facebook so you can post new books that you're reading, and when you post them on Goodreads, it automatically posts them on Facebook. So it leverages different social media networks. As long as I've been involved in Goodreads, and I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really used it on the Kindle Basic Touch because I primarily use the Kindle Voyage. Right. But so, you know, given all that aside, Goodreads, and you know, as long as it has Facebook integration, I've posted books that I'm reading to Facebook, and it's like had zero buzz.
Right.
And I have like a lot of literary friends that read like they read like the Dickens, the Charles Dickens.
It's one of those things people don't really use.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm reading this book, and what are people gonna say? That's awesome! Yeah, good job, Mike. That's like the third book you've read this month. You know. I applaud your reading prowess. Like, they never say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But Goodreads, it's novel. It's, if you reading by its very nature, whether you're reading on the Kobo or Kindle, I mean, it's pretty antisocial. I mean, you're curled up reading a book. It's like, you're not reading socially. Like, we're not sitting here, me and you, like, hey, you know, what about this teacher spite?
Read socially, really. Comment after every sentence you read, you know what I mean? Like, you'd have to read the whole book and then talk about it. You can't progressively read socially, really.
Totally, because like everyone reads at different paces, and you know.
And some be like, "Well, what'd you think about that guy dying?" And you're like, "Oh, damn,
I haven't got there yet."
Like, I didn't know that. Yeah, so
it's like we're reading one of the Game of Thrones books, and we're like, oh no, Jon Snow! He just got stabbed a bunch of times!
Yeah.
Did he die? What happened to him? And you're like, I'm on book 2. Who's Jon Snow?
You ruined everything for me.
Okay, so, I guess, like, let's look at the e-reading experience when it comes to, like, these books. So
now, these are two very different devices, so we can't exactly match the fonts stroke for stroke, but what we're going to do is try to get as close as possible. So the first thing we want to do is go to the double A button here and the double A button here, and we'll look at the options. Amazon has 7 different fonts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different font levels, line spacing and margins. Everything changes live. Kobo has these slider bars, which offers millions of combinations. I'm not too good with math, so I don't know if it is exactly millions, but
I think when I initially met with Kobo, when they introduced this, they said there was like 2.1 million different
just because
combinations.
Every little step is, can be combined.
Plus on the advanced menu here.
This is cool because this goes a step further than Amazon. That's all you see with Amazon. It is very basic. Kobo, you can click what you want the text to look like before and after, the weight of the font size, and you click apply. The entire book changes from that to this in an instant.
And all other books that you open too. Yes. So it's not just in this book, it's like in all books.
And they have fonts here, and if you don't like the fonts, you can...
let's pick Cecilia, because both of these have that.
Sure. You can load your own... You could load your own fonts. So we'll go a tighter line spacing. Just about there. Margins to the walls. That's pretty good. So let's get on with this and do some long presses. So if you long press on both these devices, you get different options. You get highlight, add note. We'll add a note just to see the keyboards. I hands down 1,000,000% like Amazon's keyboard.
Yeah, it's almost like a full QWERTY layout. It's like a legit keyboard.
Exactly. They're both QWERTY, but if you notice, the Q and A are never technically above each other. They're supposed to be staggered.
Because when you type, it's supposed to be like A, whatever, but it's like here, it's all top down.
It might as well just be an alien keyboard. And also, it's kind of gray on a darker gray on black. It's not easy to see. Amazon shades the bottom corner, giving it a lot of depth. However, both of them type
black text on white backgrounds.
Yeah, both of them they both type very, very well. So page turns are pretty much exactly the same.
All right, let's go. I mean, you probably have to do them both.
They're both exactly the same. They both fade and come in and out as quickly as
possible. It's using the same E8 Pearl screen. It's using the same processor, the same brand of RAM, same resolution. It's basically using everything the same.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that's different is like the chassis, like the actual bezel design and things like that. Slimmed down profile.
So we have search this book, all text Kindle store. In-book, Wikipedia, Google, so different search fields. If you long press, you get a dictionary definition that pops up on both. You also get share to Facebook. One thing that Amazon completely destroys Kobo in is this.
That's so fluid.
Translation. This changes the game. Look at this. Any language to any language you see on this drop down, even Chinese, in a matter of 3 seconds, you've converted the whole page.
Super robust.
If you don't speak English, you can't read this book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Amazon goes the extra mile and allows you to do full translation into many different languages. So that's really cool. That's basically sums up the reading experience with these two guys side by side.
One thing I'd like to do before we wrap this up is look at a big PDF file.
Yes.
So we have the quintessential D&D Monsters Manual. I am actually a lifelong D&D player. When I play games, I tend to play like role-playing games and really kind of get into the role-playing aspect. So I play like EVE Online, and it's like ships in space. People say it's like a spreadsheet in space game. But I do play like Final Fantasy 14. I play like a lot of role-playing heavy games. But it all started because I played like these games when I was younger with my friends. But suffice to say, that's not the story of my life. But the reason why we pick these monster manuals is because they're like super complex PDF files. It's like a stress test for e-readers mostly, and they're large files. It's like 180 MB. So if an e-reader could handle this well, it can handle newspapers, replica editions,
Exactly.
technical documents, maps, and
Right.
everything like that.
You get a mini map in each of the top left corners, letting you know where you are on the page. The Kobo blurs out
Amazon
everything.
actually copied that from Kobo.
Yes, they
because
did.
Kobo was the first one to introduce that like 4 years ago.
Amazon never had that
No.
before. Kobo blurs out everything when you navigate. You can't really see very well, but this offers. They do this so it's more fluid. It's quicker. Amazon's very slow, but you see the image a little bit better.
Yeah.
When you let go, everything will render on both devices, and
So Kobo rendered
a
quicker.
little bit quicker. Yeah. So we'll go over to a very scary gentleman here.
Gentlemen, nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
Do you have the time?
Let's zoom out a little bit. So side by side, we'll just look at the two images. So they looks like the contrast is a little bit thicker and heavier on the Kindle, but you can change that by going to font settings and lowering the contrast. So what you'll then be left with is a little bit lighter of a black.
Yeah, so that's a feature that's only indicative to like the Kindle, where you can actually control like the dark and brightness levels.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were in an ebook and we went there, it was showing fonts, it was showing margins, and it was showing all this stuff. So when you go and visit that in a PDF file, you actually have different options as you would in a Kindle type of book.
Right.
Whether it's like a Mobi, AZW.
And even though this is a PDF, look what we have. Translation.
Yeah.
And yes, it does work. It works on anything. It works on any device, any PDF. That
Italiano, bellissimo,
Pizzeria mozzarella.
Villaggio.
The bread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's about the extent of my Italian.
This
Montebella,
this
bellissimo.
has no PDF augmentation whatsoever. You can't make notes, can't make highlights, can't do anything. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Kindle, you can make notes, highlights, annotations, translations, everything.
So I would probably say the PDF experience on Amazon's a little bit more robust than Kobo, just because with Amazon, translation features, being able to make notes,
Right.
highlights, annotations, and I liked when you're pinching and zooming and scrolling it around with the Kobo, it was like basically TV on static.
Yeah, exactly. The channel you didn't want to pay for.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes down to it, Kobo is a little bit more open source because it reads EPUB, CBZ, like it reads comic book, it reads all the manga formats as well as a lot of the open source ebook formats. So you could shop at other ebook stores and via Adobe Digital Editions copy the content in. Amazon's always been like a very locked down, gated garden.
Yeah.
Very much akin to like Apple, and whereas like everything's kind of proprietary, it doesn't play nice with other formats.
Hence the massive amount of Amazon ads.
Yeah. So if you like the Amazon ecosystem and you've been dealing with them for a while, Kindle's hands down awesome.
Yeah.
Kobo, it's really good for mid-level and advanced users that want to import their own fonts. They want more flexibility and control. They want to be able to shop at other ebook stores, maybe if there's like deals and discounts and things, then they're like, well, I could buy a book on Kobo for $5.99, or I could buy it from this ebook store for like 99 cents and just load it in myself. It's a few extra steps, but for the long term, it allows you to save money. And in conjunction with the removable SD card, you can import more memory kind of easy. So it's not cut and dry saying this one is better than the other. We're presenting this comparison to you to really make you have the ultimate decision on what is more applicable to your situation. Do you like more flexibility and advanced control, or do you like an all-in-one type of ecosystem where it's just ridiculously easy to buy, sync to all my devices? So that's our opinions and our thoughts. Let's hear yours. Drop a comment on this video. Let us know what you think about both of these e-readers. And again, if you have any ideas for future videos, let us know for a comparison of the Kobo Touch 2.0 versus the Kindle Basic Touch 2014. My name is Michael.
My name is Peter.
Everybody take care.